Come on. What a bounce back. The Dockers have defeated the Adelaide Crows at Optus Stadium by 18 points. Should have been more, but that's okay. 4 points is 4 points. Fantastic performance. The Dockers 12-13, 84 to Adelaide, 9-13, 67. A little bit inaccurate and a terrible fourth quarter yet again. But those first 3 quarters, absolutely fantastic. The sort of footy we want to see being played. For the first time this year, we've seen our absolute best midfield out on the park playing their best footy. Darcy, Brayshaw, Sarong, Young. Does O'Meara get back into this team? Because, my goodness, Matt Johnson really added a great value tonight. He had 27 disposals. Come of your say by clicking the FanCams link. It's in the description. It's on the pinned comment. Come have a yarn about the game. It is a bit late. It's past midnight if you're a Victorian viewer, and it is quite late in WA, but come have a yarn. Let's look at chat. First and foremost, Freo win. How's we win against Adelaide, but not against Melbourne? I don't know. Adelaide weren't great tonight. Melbourne were very good last week. But I just think it was pressure, to be honest. Like, we actually brought pressure this week and a high level of it. It was so good to see. It was unreal. Get your thoughts in the chat, by the way, on the game. By scoring more points than Adelaide, yeah, not wrong. Controversial, but you think the game's moved past Darcy? 8 disposals, 6 clangers, 0 marks again. We can't put Jacko in the forward line. He's a far better ruckman. Voss is a great backup, great win. I disagree with you, Alex. I thought Darcy was really good tonight. I've got to remember third game back from injury, still coming off quite a low base. I was quite happy with how Darcy played today. Riley O'Brien's a big physical ruckman. And I think Oscar McDonald chopped out really well as well. I thought he had a good game. So, yeah, it was great to see. I thought Darcy played well. Lockie is rage baiting. Shut up. Freo focused on defense a lot tonight. Yeah, our defense was so good. There wasn't a single passenger in the back line. Like, if you take a look at that whole back six, Ryan, Pearce, Cox, Warner, Draper, Clark, all played so well. And you add Wagner and Chapman to that. Oh, mate. Not one of them had a bad game. It was so good to see. We were inaccurate. The Crows were inaccurate too. I can't believe we ended up with 12 goals, 13. Only 85 points is disappointing. And we shouldn't have conceded 67. Conceded a few late ones that were so annoying. Like, that fourth quarter was 4 goals to nothing. It's not good enough whatsoever. That last quarter, we did all our work in the first 3 yet again. Mate, Carl Warner, so good. A bit like a Brendan Cox. Criticism at the start of the season, wasn't playing their best football, making simple mistakes, and him and Cox have just built into the season so nicely. I thought Coxie was elite today. I thought Carl was elite today. To be honest, the only change I'd make next week would be Jackson into McDonald, which is unfortunate because Omac played so well today. But I'd go unchanged apart from that. I'd maybe bring Narkle into the 22 and make Dudley sub. Remember, Dudley joined the club officially 3 weeks before the season started. So he didn't do a full preseason. I don't think he's still up to full match fitness. So I think Dudley's still just that 1/4 sub player. I think Narkle can probably play a bit more bulk minutes. Yeah, real gritty win, Frederick. Real gritty win. Got 32 in here. Click the link to come join the FanCams. Have a yarn about the game. Get all your thoughts about our win in the chat. Before I jump into the FanCams and wait for some more people to get in the waiting room, I do just want to quickly mention Andrew Brayshaw, because this is a guy that 2023 and 2024 has been massively underwhelming for the standards we expect from him. I think Andy this season, the way he started the first 7 weeks now, has been back to his 2022 MVP form. When we made finals, when he won the Lee Matthews Trophy, I think Andy today especially, and just all season, has been so good. And he's got a very different skill set to Sarong. He's a bit cleaner on the outside. He's not as much of an accumulator. That being said, he had 37 touches today, but he's such a good ball user. He's a hard nut. Again, he had stitches above his eye today, which feels like it's every game. He's either got a black eye or stitches. Yeah, incredible game yet again from Andy. Could have had a goal. Yeah, so happy with that. Unreal to see. Diggy, love the effort tonight. Wonder if the last quarter fades are mental. What is said to the player group at 3/4 time? Yeah, I was thinking that too. What on earth? Because we're 7 weeks into the season now. Surely we are aware of the fourth quarter fade outs we're having. Would you not make that a focus at 3/4 time? Or are we making it a focus and the players just overthinking it and not playing their footy? I don't know what it was. The only good fourth quarter we've played this season. The Richmond game was quite good, but the Bulldogs game, we closed it out professionally. I don't know what we're doing in the other games. It's weird. Really odd, our fourth quarter fade outs. Just go home from the game. Come on, boys. Calm the Dockers. Yeah, what a win. Sharp's been off. He has been a little bit off. I thought he was good today, though. How many touches? 5 touches. Shit. I thought he applied some pretty good pressure. Jeremy Sharp, 5 touches. He might be under the pump next week. I didn't think he was that bad. I thought from the eye test he wasn't terrible, but 5 touches is crazy considering Narkle had 3 1/4. Dudley was certainly quiet. Wow. I would have not picked 5 touches. Maybe he might be under the pump next week. You know, you've got, as I said, Narkle as sub. You've got Simpson in the wings. That'll be an interesting watch. Oh, if Narks kicked that goal in the last quarter, would have brought the roof off. Well, there's no roof on Optus, but you get what I mean. Narkle, I think, will be in the team. He was playing quite deep forward. I'm not sure how noticeable it was on TV, but I sit inside the 50 where we were kicking in the last quarter, and Narkle was playing so deep, way deeper than I thought, because 37 touches in the waffle. He must have been playing wing or something, or through the midfield. Interesting, we just played him that deep, just as a pure forward, which I guess made sense. It was a sub for Dudley. Darcy had some really smooth players, vast improvement in a short time. Oh, absolutely wrong. I was really happy with Darcy's game today. Riley O'Brien's no easy feat, and I thought he did super well today. Omac competed really nicely, but it's going to be great to have Jackson back. Yeah, was happy with Darcy. He's building. Last week, he just got towed up. You sometimes have those games when you're coming back from injury, and I think people pounced on him a bit hard. Loving Jono, I'm going to assume. Jono and Clarkey style at the moment. Yeah, playing some good footy, those two. Mate, Clark's chase down. When that happened, I sort of just felt like we might have been 4 or 5 goals up at the time, but it was still a chance the Crows came back. When that happened, I was like, it's just down night. It's just down night. Yeah, it was an unreal chase down. That's the sort of trademark we want from our players. That sort of footy. He looks a bit frustrated. What, Sharpie? Yeah, I don't know what's up with Jez. Because there was a game a few weeks ago, he was quite quiet. Let me take a look, game by game stats. What game was it? It was the West Coast game, he had 9 disposals. Last week, he had 1 goal, 3. My goodness. Yeah. I'm unsure what's up with Jez, to be honest. Shea Bolton, once he is at 100%, is our best player. What a trade. Let's do it again next year with Cosby. Oh, he is. That's the thing. I think Shea's probably playing at 80% at the moment. I still don't think he's fully fit. And some of the shit he does is sickening. Like that sidestep on the wing today, to put it inside 50. I can't remember what the result of it was. But then that goal as well, the sidestep and the snap from about 35 out on an angle. It's just, some of the stuff he does makes no sense. He's so good to watch. It felt like Fraddy and Wagner playing on the wings a bit. Sharp got lost. Yeah, right. So Wags was on the wing. Was Wags on the wing? I can't even really remember him playing there. Freddie, I definitely remember on the wing. it was interesting because we had to push some different guys to the wing because Banfield was the one who'd be playing there, and his replacement was Narkle, and Narkle was sub. So we had to put some extra numbers onto the wing, with some extra numbers in the rotation. So, yeah, makes sense. How is Dud's sub, by the way? Or Dud's being sub? I thought it was probably the right decision. Maybe Sharp could have gone off. No, well, I love Dudley as much as the next bloke, but he was quite quiet. He had 4 disposals in 3 quarters of football. He had 1 scoring shot, really. He absolutely, like, when we got a free kick right in front of goal, he played on and sprayed it. So, yeah, it just wasn't Dud's day. I think he'll be back in the sub best next week against the Saints. Omac was the silent achiever tonight. That dude is good. Narkle nearly got that. Bruce and Kahuna, my standouts. Bruce as your standout. I thought Bruce was quiet too. I mean, obviously, I think that was probably Bruce's quietest game since the Cats game. And yes, Bruce kicked 4 in that game, but in terms of the actual game, he didn't get a lot of it. I don't think. There you go. I wouldn't have gone there. Kahuna, again, didn't kick very well, but I thought Clunk some really nice marks and packs around the ground. So can't dispute that. Yeah, Omac was great, though. I was a massive fan of Omac's game. Duds needs to stop being sub. Clark is a freak. His chasing him was crazy. Well, Duds wasn't sub today, and he didn't really run out the game very well. So I think he'll be sub next week, and I'm okay with that. Leaning towards having Jackson/Darcy accommodations back next week, but also McDonald be back in the waffle. Oh, looking forward. Yeah, so am I. Dogger will give us that extra contest forward of the ball. Like, McDonald played well today. Competed well on the ruck. Kicked his 2 goals. He was actually quite good at ground level. Got a couple goal assists. But one thing I noticed about McDonald is he never really led at the ball. He was always trying to get the marks out the back, which just took away from one of our options if we're trying to connect inside 50. And I think Jackson will give us that extra leading option next week. So, yeah, it's going to be great to have Dogger back in this team. Bolton coming along very well. How good is Shea? It's so fun just to watch him. Good win for Freo, indeed. Murphy Reed. This channel should just be named the Murphy Reed Club just because, mate, this channel, I love Murphy Reed as much as the next bloke. What a guy. Brayshaw's form is a major highlight from the past few weeks. Really underrated and not getting talked about enough. Yeah, we talked about it about 5 minutes ago. Honestly, because these past couple seasons, for the expectations we place on Andy, have been a little bit underwhelming. Because that 2022 season, that's when all his expectations rose. And, he had the MVP season. He was our best player. He led us to finals. And he's been a bit underwhelming. But this season, this first 7 weeks, and particularly today, I'm so pleased he won the medal because Caleb's won 4 Glendinning Allen medals now. Brayshaw is just none, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, it was good to see Andy get some silverware for all his work. Good win, but still had a few players not do much. I really only thought it was Duds and Sharpie that probably didn't have the games they wanted. Murphy, not really either. He kicked a nice goal. So I don't know. Yeah, I can take far more positives out today, considering this is the most pessimistic I've been about a game all season. Like, leading in, I'm not sure how many people here watched my preview, but I tipped Adelaide, and I went through and my notes might still be here. I've still got all my preview notes. We can go back through them. So shutting down Dawson and Rankin was my first one. We shut down Dawson. I think Dawson didn't touch the ball in the last quarter. I think he was so quiet late on. Jordan Dawson in the last quarter had 0 disposals. He did not touch the ball. So that just sort of shows you. Was he even on the ground? Oh, no, he wasn't. Maybe he just didn't play in the last quarter. Anyway, we shut Jordan Dawson out of the game pretty well, I thought. He was one of Adelaide's top ball winners, but I don't think he made a massive impact on the game, and I thought his ball usage was quite average. And I thought Rankin, he got a few outlets, Isaac Rankin. He kicked the goal. But for the most part, Heath Chapman did a brilliant job on him. So I thought we got that right. We got the back mix right. I thought we covered guys like Ben Keys really well. Fogarty out helped. Phil Thorpe we covered well, and him going down helped. And then Tex, I thought we did quite well on, even though I thought Tex was quite good. We had both key forwards firing. That was one of the main ones. Amos and Tracy both had good games. Tracy 2 goals 3, but he just made a contest all over the ground. And those two haven't been playing well in the same game this season. So really good to see those two. Scores from the back half, we conceded barely any, which was another tick. And then we found our live wire. Our pressure was so good. I actually really want to see our inside 50 tackle stats, because in the Geelong and Melbourne losses this year, they were terrible. So I'd be interested. Where is it? Defense. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Tackles inside 50. Fremantle 8. Adelaide 18. I'm baffled by that. Adelaide had 20 more tackles than us today. There you go. Maybe it was just a different game style, but I think it was clear to anyone who watched the game, our pressure was just on a different scale today. It was just through the roof, which was great to see. We've got a few people in the waiting room. We'll get them in a sec. We've got so much chat. I'll quickly skim through. Sam Sulkowski's presence is immense. No play leaves a greater void than him when he's out of the forward line. It's his pressure. I thought his best game of the season was actually last week against Melbourne. I thought he was one of our only guys actually giving us something up front, just creating a live wire. And my God, again today, he kicked a goal, which was good to see. But yeah, Switter is so vital to this team and been so underrated for so long. Amos having a few almost games. Delivery from the mids needs work on many occasions and put it over his head. I thought Jai competed well again today. I thought he got around his defender a bit today, which was good to see. I thought he matured a bit in that sense. It was just good to see him compete and give us something front and center. Let's keep McDonald and get Voss to the waffle. We'll get Jackson back next week. We don't need to pick between those two, but Vossi gives us something so good in the forward 50. He just needs to learn how to kick. Same with Murphy Reid. We've got a few guys that can't kick. Same with Tracy. Jeez. Does Voss come back in the side without any more injuries and celebrations of Beckham and Hawthorns? They are. Nah, Dogger comes back in. I don't think Vossi or Omac will be in the team. Matt Johnson was great. I saw a few negative comments about Jono on just the normal Freo page. Don't know where they were coming from. I agree with you. I thought Jono was fantastic today. Jono's put together a nice season. He's getting a lot more composed with ball in hand. I reckon that was his season high with disposals. He had 27 disposals. That'd be close to career high. I thought Jono was great today. Freo showing a lot more maturity in the last year to not lose their shit after a string of Crows. Yeah, okay. Absolutely. I thought the umpiring today was shit both ways. It's just the inconsistency that gets under my skin. There are just calls that happen at one end that don't get called at the other, and vice versa, and it just does my head in. Again, the consistency today was real questionable. Warner played well. Yeah, he did. Switter was great, fantastic. Yeah, nominate Bruce for goal of the round. Bruce is going to win every award out there at the moment. Rising Star, Goal of the Year, Brownlow, the lot. Omac, 2 goals, 7 scorer involvements. He'll be so unlucky to be dropped, but he's no dogger. Exactly. Warner's grown on a lot of us. I've seen a lot of Warner praise in chat, which is great to see. Saints have a lot of small forwards. Do we drop Cox in and give Simpson a rundown back? Yeah, interesting. You see a lot of teams at the moment picking teams that are very opposition dependent. I'm not sure JL has it in his brain capacity to pick an opposition dependent team, but I'd like to say something like that. I don't mind your thinking, because Owens sort of plays a bit taller. If you look at their forward line, and Owens is not very tall for what you want out of a key forward. So if you look at the Saints team this week, so Isaac Keeler will play up forwards. And Caminiti, so Howard's back, so Caminiti will play forward, which is interesting. That'll give him a bit more height. So you look at their guys. Keeler's 198. Caminiti's 196. Owens is 191. So they don't really have any 200 plus guys, but I guess Caminiti will give him a bit more size down forward next week. But it's interesting. It's an interesting thought bringing Simpson in. We'll get into the fan cam soon, by the way. There's just a lot of chat I want to get through. I'm enjoying everyone being here. It's a late one, but who doesn't love a good Friday night win? Duds was at least trying to pressure, got a chase down tackle. Just think the coaching staff could have pulled another. Yeah, fair enough. I'm about 5 minutes behind on these chats, by the way. There have been that much. I need to quickly get through these. Went on to the Dockers. Adelaide Mids didn't have enough to pill and forward too inaccurate. Exactly. Fogarty was out. Curtin couldn't bring a presence. Yeah, Fogarty out was huge. Curtin couldn't bring. Yeah, Dean Curtin did not have a good game, did he? Because he was playing forward. He was trying to play a bit taller. But what did he do? 8 touches, 1 behind. Yeah, not a great game from old Dan Curtin, but we love our WA lads. Your best, Pierce, Clark, Bolton, Brayshaw. Yeah, probably about right. I'd chuck Johnson in that mix. And yeah, probably about it. I thought Chapman had a great game again. Chapman goes so under the radar every week. Did you see Sarong's interview after the game on Fox Footy? Was it interesting to hear his insight into the past week? Sounds like there was some hard conversations. Let's let the boys carry on from here. I've got this sort of... I was thinking about that before the game. I reckon that Melbourne loss might be what we needed. Like, I think that we've had some... you can have losses where you're just like, we were beaten by the better team, or we play good footy, just not good enough on the day. But that Melbourne loss really sparked something in this fan base and within the 4 walls. And we just came out harder and tougher today. I reckon that loss might just spark something in us for the rest of the season. And you look at our run coming up. So the Saints away next week's no gimme. After that's Collingwood on a Thursday night at home, which is going to be a blockbuster, but so tough. Following that is Giants away. And then you've got Port at home and Gold Coast away leading into the bye. So our fixtures coming up are tough. I wonder if that Melbourne loss and just how the club's been throughout the week has maybe just clicked something inside of us. Pretty happy with the big Kahuna. Loved him sticking up for Nev after the 50. Yeah, Kahuna was angry today. Our whole forward line was pissed. They were getting into those Adelaide players. It was great to see. I will read the rest of the chat later. We've got so much, so stick around. We're going to get into the fan cams. We'll get Jordan on first, who feels like been on every week this year. It's been good to have a yarn with him. We've got a dub to talk about today, mate.
Yeah, good to be on again. I think I missed 1 week. I think I missed the away derby, but
not good enough, mate.
What was it, sir?
Not good enough.
Yeah, no, poor effort, but no. Yeah, plenty good to talk about today. I think. Was it 3 goals in the end? Obviously, there's things to talk about. The 4-quarter fade out probably wasn't great, but yeah, so much to be impressed about. I think our midfield deserves all the praise. They were able to. Yeah, we talked about that I think last week with their midfield was very strong. Dawson and Rankin and Peatling and those sorts of guys, but Brayshaw and Sarong and even Johnson I think was probably better than anyone they had. So, but the thing that impressed me the most, they only entered inside 50 42 times. I think they're averaging like 56, and they've come up against some good some good teams. Like you get come against the Giants, the Cats, the Suns. So that was probably the most impressive thing today. And that goes to our half back line. Chapman was great. Warner was great.
Yep.
Ryan plays a bit more up, but he was great as well. Draper, I thought, was quiet, but quiet doesn't necessarily mean you've had a bad game. So, the mids today, Brayshaw, obviously best on ground. I think he got 3 votes from everyone. And then, the half back line was, and the fact that we only let him inside 50, 42 times. As simple, if you don't let them in, they're not going to score. So, I think it was just a lot of getting back to basics. So, but it was good.
Yeah, it was unreal. What did you make of Sean Darcy today?
Well, he was better than last week. I think that's that's a given.
Safe to say.
It was actually something that I pretty much I was watching very closely every ruck contest and thinking, okay, he got battered last week. How's he going to go now? And he held his own better. Riley O'Brien's not in the same vein as Max Gawn, but he was able to probably won about half the ruck contest. And I haven't seen the stats, but wasn't really a presence down 40. Tried to be, wasn't, but he was very good today. And it didn't start, but he's still only second on our 3rd game back.
Yeah.
And we're still seeing Bolton's I think 5th game or 6th game, and you still feel he's got a sense of not quite fitting in. He's getting better every week, but you still feel there's a little bit of not quite in the system yet. So Darcy, it's only his third game back. He's gonna get back to it, and we probably all agree he was probably rushed back a bit early as well. So even if he's not playing at full fitness, he was still great today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think him at 60% is probably better than Reedy at 100%. So I guess we did what we had to do. Our forwards today, I thought we had a lot better. We only put up 85, but I thought our connection was a lot better. Our inaccuracy is probably the reason for only putting up that score. What do you think of them?
Yeah, and it could have been more if it weren't for the fourth quarter fade out. I think no one kicked more than 2 from us today, but from what I just saw, but you look, I think McDonald chimed in, Frederick chimed in, a miss got 2, and I feel like he could have had more. I feel like sometimes the service to a miss wasn't as good as it was to maybe some of the other forwards, so that might have had an impact. But usually he was winning a lot more one-on-ones, and getting in front of the man at a lot more one-on-ones as well. So it felt like maybe there was a bit of a confidence increase from a miss heading into this game. The tools. Tracy wasn't as present today, but I mean that means he's only kicked 3 in the last 2, but he'll get back to it. We all know that. The smalls. I thought Reed was quiet, but other than missing a few set shots, didn't do much wrong either. And Dudley was quiet as well, but we got that nice goal from the nice tap on from Dudley to Reed as well, which we
I forgot
don't
about
see
that.
often.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't see often. We didn't see it at all, really, anything like that at all in the team last year. So just to get a bit of it, I think it excites all of us. But our forward line, to be perfectly honest, looking at defence mid forward line, forwards was probably the one I'd put at 3 in that. If I was to rank the impact that they all had. But yeah, they also, other than the set shots, they didn't do much wrong either. As I said, the pressure was much better today than it has been in the past few weeks.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking ahead to next week, interesting at the selection table. Someone mentioned the Simpson thing earlier, which, interesting call. Saints do have a smaller forward line. Narkle was sub today. I thought performed reasonably well and did about as much as Dudley did in 1 quarter as Dudley did in 3 quarters. What do you reckon we do at the table?
Yeah, as someone was saying before about that they've got smalls and we don't have Walker there. That's obviously going to be tough. But I'm not too sure about next week because the obvious one, as much as a lot of people won't like it, Jackson comes in for McDonald, and then Jager coming back in. Jager's not going to play in the back line, we know that. But
Jager won't play next week, I don't think.
Oh, we don't think he will? Okay.
No.
But if that's the case, you've got Wagner we saw play a bit more midfield. He can easily go back. And so can, Aish could possibly play as well. If the smalls are what we're worried about. I don't think it is a huge thing to worry about, to be perfectly honest. But their team's not as good on paper as ours is. So I think, and as I said, different game styles. So it'll just be a case of we play our way and they'll play their way. But yeah, it won't be an easy game next week against the Saints. But if to be honest, that's probably the only change I'd make. If Jager's in, you'd probably have to get rid of one of Dudley or Narkle, or maybe even Sharp. But then I probably wouldn't get rid of Sharp whilst O'Driscoll's still out. Because we do sort of need a wingman. Yeah, but that's if O'Meara's not back, that's the only change I'd make. I'd go Jackson in for McDonald. So, but yeah, other than that, we just got to play our way next week, and it'll be our first away game where we're actually playing, and we're not playing on Auskick time, which I think
I know it'll be
a few people
fucking late though, won't it?
Yeah, I think it's 5. Oh, it's
5:40. It was 7:40 our time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or it was 7:40 over there.
7:40 their time.
So,
yeah, 5:40.
Okay, that's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, very keen. Primetime Central. And after that, we got the Pies, which God knows how it'll be. If we just have to win next week. Then we got back-to-back wins, and we're looking okay heading into that game. Any final words?
Any final words? I said this before. The Lenore game, I think it's almost a bucket list item now. If you're a footy fan,
yeah,
it's Anzac Day, the MCG is a bucket list item. King's Birthday's bucket list item, Collingwood Carlton's. I think Len Hall game's a bucket list item now if you're a footy fan. It was an awesome show that was put on tonight.
Unreal. What? I reckon that was the attendance record for Len Hall games as well. 53K were there or something.
Yeah, smashed it.
Yeah, unbelievable spectacle. We do it better by the year. We've got a medal now to go with it. Great tribute at 3/4 time to Arthur Leggett. Yeah, all round, just unreal spectacle put on by the club yet again. So well done for mentioning that. Thanks for joining me again, mate. And hopefully we're discussing another dub next week.
Hopefully. See you then.
See you, mate. We've actually got a few in the waiting room. We'll get on to them in a sec. I've got a lot of chat to get through, so we'll skim through. Big game next week is our last Friday night game of the year. Yeah, I think so. For what schedule? But we've still got the floating fixture, which is good. Let's just skim through and we'll get to the next person in the fan cams. Big Kahuna, genuinely a Coleman contender, although many dismissing him, not even being in some conversations. I think he's getting some mainstream coverage now. Like David King gave him props last week. It's like second best key forward in the comp. So yeah, he's starting to get mainstream props. The umpiring is something. It's interesting. It was just a few disposal decisions that were critiqued by Pav and Scully, so people jumped on the negative train. Okay, is that right? Is that about Jono? Yeah. Oh, Jono was massive. Unbelievable. Will Schofield was so negative to Freo. Yeah, Scully indeed does, like to shit on Freo a bit, but we love Scully. Good bloke. Simpson may have a chance for next Friday. Yeah, definitely. Liam Henry getting dropped and Freo getting the win for an unreal weekend. Liam Henry had about one touch last week. I'm not surprised he got dropped. I know this isn't a Crows pod, but there is absolutely no way O'Brien should ever play for that club again. He's actually terrible. Was O'Brien that bad? What were the hitouts? 36-30 to Darcy. O'Brien had 14 touches. I thought O'Brien played quite well. Just like watching the game, I thought Darcy just played well. I don't think Darcy towed him up, but I thought he was quite good. Good win for the Dockers. They defied the match fixing. JLO's midweek spray woke the team up from their sleep. All right, look, if Sarong was saying that they were having hard conversations throughout the week, now I'm very, very happy. Because it's just what we needed. Is that Josh Tracy? Are we talking about the bloke Jordan who was just on? JT from Kmart. He has no resemblance to Josh Tracy. James will jump on in 20. Huge. Yeah, there was a bit happening at Gloucester Park, wasn't there? All right, a few more chats. David King's a flog. He hates Freo. Even jokes about how much he hates him on stream. Can we try Clark at half forward? He would give us a very accurate 50-plus cannon. Then we have Shea, Youngie, and Jordan all able to play that very explosive attacking game running into the 50. Clark at half forward. He's so defensively stable and gives us that quarterback usage and run off halfback. I don't know. I wouldn't. But I don't mind your thinking. It's an option. Scully just doesn't know. The thing is, right, because Pav does this too. They're too cautious about being biased about their former club, and they go too far the other way. It's just what happens. I thought O'Brien was fine. You can't see Aish making it back? Probably not unless an injury opens up. Clark Andre is a backman, one of our best every week running off the back line. Yeah, I'd agree. Legit, mate, it's no good looking at the hit-out numbers for Rob. Look at the hit-outs advantage. That tells you the story. Every other ruck is better than him. Hit-outs advantage. How can I find that stat? Advanced. Hit-outs to advantage. Hold on, I can find it. Give me a sec. Hit-outs to advantage. Where is that stat? There we go. Confirm. Oh, no, it's not giving me the... Yeah, mint. All right. Cheers, AFL.com.au. Scully's a great bloke, says how it is, and doesn't back down from opinions. I like Shelter Footy Cast. Good podcast. But apart from that, on Fox, he's a bit hard to listen to. Tanu, if you're there, we'll get you in next. He looks ready. All right. Let's go. Mate.
All right, let's go for it. Cool. I might pick a spot outside, actually. 1-6 is. Yeah, it's going to be better.
Yeah, good call.
Hells yeah. All right.
Talk to me.
All right. So I was at the game, so that was good. I don't actually get to go to many games, so that was a nice change.
Yep.
I've been so critical of Matthew Johnson for so long.
Yeah.
I've been like super critical to everyone. I have been like, I have not had belief in him at all, and this was the game that turned me.
Yep.
100%. So
He was so good.
I'm on the Matthew Johnson train, and we're chatting because Jager wasn't there. He could fill that role better, and that was our belief. Like he fits into Jager's role best. So
Yeah.
kind of like left some room for him. That was pretty good. I think a big one for me as well. I don't know, we kind of left the game like happy with the win, but also feeling like, God, why didn't we just pile it on at the end? Like we're playing so good, and I feel like we just kind of like were a bit lackluster at the end. Like if we're being critical of them, it felt like we should have just kept Adelaide to 2 goals at the end, or piled on another 3 goals or something like that. Like just won by 50 or something like that. Just like blown them out of the water. It would have been nice. I feel like we just don't do that. And this was a game to really have that moment of just like, we are the best. We've like put fear into them, and we're going to just like completely roll over this team that is meant to be one of the favorites to kind of at least contend in the finals. But kind of like nearly gave them a sniff and didn't put the fear into them, even though we won, which is great. You know, you leave winning, but you just want to like go in and just have a 4-quarter result instead of a 3-quarter result. I don't know. There's some of my thoughts.
We haven't put a team to the sword in ages. Like last time we did it was probably Melbourne a couple times last year. And Melbourne weren't very good last year. It'd just be nice to put a good team like Adelaide to the sword, because we had them in a chokehold for 3 quarters, and then to lose that last quarter 4 goals to nothing is just, it leaves a bittersweet feeling in the win. And as you said, we take the win. 4 points is 4 points, and Adelaide are going to be a good team this year. But yeah, I agree with you. These 4th quarter fade outs, like it's all good, like winning enough games to make finals and whatnot, but we're going to make no dent in finals if we can't play a full 4-quarter performance. And even like Collingwood in a couple of weeks, I worry about just not putting in a 4-quarter performance, because they're the types of teams that will just run out games so well.
Exactly. Like, I feel, what was the other one that we had for, like, I felt like the Bulldogs were nearly going to make a comeback as well. Like, they had, like, it's like we're not killing the belief of the other team. Like, when we were playing Geelong, like, you were just sitting there going, the belief is gone. Like, all the members of Freo were just kind of sitting there going, oh, this is horrible. I hate this feeling. I want to give that to somebody else.
Yep. 100%. Yeah. I mean, apart from that, 4th quarter was shit. But, I mean, the game as a whole, talk to me about the positives, because it was beautiful.
So I think one thing that like really speaks for it is the defensive aspect. So the team defense was good, and the defenders as a whole I really liked. So one thing that I think really shifted was having Wagner back in the team allowed Clark to kind of have a bit more freedom, and then Clark it felt like Clark was just going to rip the whole thing apart, and I was loving Clark's game. So I really liked that. I like a bit of a shout out to Oscar McDonald as well. I was like, last week I didn't like him in the team, but this week I loved him in the team. So I feel like he's playing that really good depth role, and he's kind of there. I was loving the accuracy as well, even though I know the score at the end didn't say it, but at the very beginning, I think we had like, was it 5-1 or something like that? So it feels like the accuracy is coming back, and I know a lot of things were working well in this game. And for the first 3 quarters, it felt like a Freo game, a high pressure game, like good midfield game. I haven't looked at the stats because I was actually there. Usually I'm looking at the stats the whole time, but it felt like the ball movement, the center clearance, the accuracy, the forward connection, like all these things were kind of like rolling and working together and stopping the momentum from the other side. Like it felt like a cohesive game and something that we can kind of be proud of overall.
Yeah, 100%. I think there are so many positives to take out today. The only negative I'd take is that fourth quarter, because I feel like for those first 3 quarters, we played some of our best football. Our best players were linking up. Our role players were doing very, very well, playing above average. And like the guys that have been criticised, as you said, Johnson before, Carl Warner, even like a Brennan Cox, these guys that have been criticised stood up massively today. And I think it's a massive step forward in this team. If we can just have an increasing number of players growing in confidence and playing their role with flourish week in, week out, and not just having those one-off games, and I think we're just going to be better as a whole.
Yeah, I think there's also a bit of a shout. I feel Young's getting his form back. Like a couple weeks in, 3rd week back in the game, or was it 4th week back in the game now? Whatever it is, like that midfield is kind of coming together, and we knew Young's super important. I'm really looking forward to when O'Driscoll comes back as well, because I feel like Young and O'Driscoll might be a good complement for each other. But yeah, it was good to see Young kind of like start to pull it back together. And I think there was a moment where, I don't know if Tracy marked it, but I think Young just got it to Tracy and was like, yeah, that's the bread and butter. They're the two of the best players, and the proof of that connection kind of forming back together. And I was loving that. But I'm also looking forward to like some of the cavalry coming back, because I'm looking at, if Johnson's firing, I'd like to see Johnson doing his role at the moment with Jackson back, with O'Driscoll back. Like you can see this kind of hope and maybe kind of pull it together as like the list just like becomes perfect, and then hopefully we can make a run for it.
Hopefully. I think we're pretty close. Any final words?
Oh. No, I think that's all good. I'd like to see Narkle play a bit more, because I feel like I feel like that's one thing that I would just like to see. Narkle have a bit more of a run at it. But no, it was a good game. I'm happy with it. Positives, a few negatives. Let's work on it. Let's smash St Kilda. Let's get on a roll.
Exactly. Just to get on a roll, get a bit of consistency, and we'll be all good. Thanks for joining me, mate. Have a good one.
No worries. Bye.
A few more chats, and we'll get into the next few. Got quite a few people in the waiting room. Let's see. Number 44 on the back. Here we go. Darcy gets 14 hitouts to advantage. O'Brien gets 7. Okay. There you go. It wasn't a toweling. I don't think O'Brien played badly, to be honest. Yeah, maybe he did. I mean, who do we have? LZRS is quite confident. Not confident. Quite eager to tell us how bad O'Brien was. I don't think he was that awful. Johnson genuinely looked like prime 5 times today. The way he was breaking through packs, it was taking me back. Not being able to score 100 points was brutal, because we had a 100-point game in this for sure. 85 just doesn't feel right. Like 12 goals, 13. Surely there was a bit more in us. It was just the inaccuracy that absolutely killed us. The Pies didn't even put in a 4-quarter effort today. Got smashed in the second. True. Yeah, the umps were on our side. It was great to see. It was very, very fun. It was sort of just, it swung back and forth, the umpire favouring, to be honest. You're in the Freo cheer squad, and we hate Mark Keane in the second. Mark Keane was being a bit of a prick, wasn't he? 3 Crows players set to be looked at in the MRO, but separate incidents. Which of one should at least get coming fines with a bump on Chapman? Which one was that? I don't even remember it. The Crows were filthy today. I wasn't expecting it. Adelaide went in hard. That game had a bit about it. You reckon O'Brien's the worst ruck in the league? That's a massive call. Yeah, mate, everyone's entitled to their opinion. But that is insane. Yeah, game was very physical. All right, next up, Banfield. No way Banfield can get back into this team. Yeah, no way. We look so good without Banfield today, especially just having different guys run down the wing and rotating into the 4th line. It was so good. All right, Alex, you ready? There we go. Mate,
How we going, mate?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, having a good one. Dockers wins always sets up a good night.
Exactly. So good to see. Were you at the game?
Nah, I wasn't at the game. Yeah, not tonight. I had too much stuff going on, but I don't actually mind watching it from home because you get to watch the stats as the game's going on, and just overall listen to the commentary, listen to Scully hating on Matt Johnson the whole time.
What was up with Scully? Like, what was he saying?
Oh, he got pretty critical of Matt Johnson for a couple of clangers, but I think Johnson sort of showed him up in the last quarter there. Stood real tall.
Talk to me about our midfield. How good was it?
Oh, mate, if it's not Sarong, it's Brayshaw, isn't it? Like, they both had ripper games, but Brayshaw absolutely stepped up. That guy doesn't get enough recognition. Well, he sometimes does, but it's one of the best mids when he's at his best, isn't he? I mean, far out, he can just absolutely carry our team. It's unbelievable.
Oh,
But,
we've got so many guys.
I thought I might get a bit shamed from the Sean Darcy comment earlier. I'm just such a big believer in Luke Jackson, mate. I think that guy is one of the best ruckmen in the comp. But you are right; it is only his third game back. But I reckon Aaron Sandlands probably beats him in a 50-metre sprint.
What, Sean Darcy?
Yeah, probably.
But, I'd love to see prime Sandy versus prime Sean Darcy, just in 100 meters, 50 to 50. Like, be so good.
Yeah, my only point with it all is I love Vossi, mate. I think he brings so much to our team. The energy and just that fierceness. I mean, breaking Vlosten's nose was probably a bit too much, but just the Bash brothers, Tracy and Voss, mate, I get around it. So, but really happy. Hoping Jackson comes in next week, and hopefully he's feeling all right.
I do agree with you in a sense, because Jackson gives us something very different in the middle. Like, personally, I think our best 22s, Sean Darcy in the ruck, Luke Jackson in the forward line. But I'd like to see JL get a bit team dependent when selecting his rucks, because there are some games where Luke Jackson is just going to towel up the opposition and give us so much more out the middle. And there are other games where we need Darcy's presence. So I'd like to see JL give both of them sort of a go. Our back line, very, very solid today. Talk to me. Who do you like?
I don't think Alex Pearce has gotten enough love, to be honest with you. He didn't. I don't think he had too many disposals, but that moment, those few moments where he was getting underneath Riley Thilthorpe's skin, I love to see that. I think he, even when he's not getting his hands on the ball, just his presence down there, just getting a hand in, and he hits the ball at pace, which a lot of key backs don't really do. But yeah, I think he played really well. And that, like I mentioned before, I think in the comments, Jordan Clark, holy moly, he's a good player, isn't he?
How lucky are we? He wasn't getting a game at Geelong, and we've just gone and poached him for a bag of peanuts. Unbelievable.
Yeah, 100%.
Mind
the cat.
Yeah, geez, the Cats are having a good time. Walking again. Gee, the catwalk. Saints next week, Friday night, another big game. What are we saying?
Oh, it just depends how we go travelling, I think. I mean, if it was at home, I'd be thinking we'd absolutely storm away with it. But the way that we played tonight, if we could play the same way, but we're just going to have to see how we go away. I think Jackson coming back into the side is going to be a big one. I don't think I'm not too worried about the small forwards. I think we've seen plenty of times. A lot of teams these days play with the 4 key backs, no matter who they come up against. And as long as you can play the game your way, it tends to come off. So, it'll be interesting to see how that one plays out.
Yeah,
I think we can get
very,
the
very
chocolate.
keen. Oh, you'd hope so. St Kilda had an absolute stinker last week, and they've got Brisbane tomorrow. So hopefully Brisbane towel them up and get them low on confidence. Thank you, mate. Appreciate you joining me. And,
no worries. Good to see you. Love your work. Love the potty. Go for it.
Cheers. Oh, good, man. Got a bit more chat. Got a few more in the waiting room. Been on for almost an hour. Got 50 in. This has been a real fun fan camps tonight. Maybe the Friday night ones are just going to go off every week. Give us Friday night every week, AFL. Bit of Cozzy chat here. Omac did more than Tex all game. Yeah. I didn't think Tex was bad, but Omac just gave us so much around the ground. Even against Thilthorpe. Thilthorpe is a big, scary man to be going up against in the ruck. And I thought Omac competed super well. Yeah, first half was crash and bash. Feel sorry for the Freo forwards knowing Cozzy's going to grab their spot. Yeah, I mean, who goes? I mean, it's too early. It's round 7. We'll have Cozzy hopefully by round 1 next year. We can speak about it then. But yeah, Cozzy won't fit into our forward line. Cozzy kicks. Who goes out? Probably. Oh, Dudley. Like, are you saying Kazai Pickett does not play over Isaiah Dudley or Quinton Narkle? Like, come on, let's not take the piss. You don't think Cozzy's coming? Melbourne have no intention of letting him go in the last way too much. I think we'll be able to get it down to 1 first-round pick, and I think that's fair. I think Cozzy, because Cozzy has a strong intention to come, I think that'll benefit us, and I think Melbourne will succumb in the end. I reckon it would go to late in the trade period. Yeah, I don't think it was as publicized though. I think if he publicized, it will be publicized, and I think he'll officially request a trade. Are we talking about Cozzy? Oh no, we're talking about rucks. Bailey Williams and Matt Flynn exist. Flinny played well against Essendon last week, I'll be honest. Dockers have enough picks and money to get him. What picks do we have next year? I've got no idea. It feels like we've used everything on Bolton, which I'm not complaining about. That bloke's a gun. 10 future first and Sarong's firstborn, according to their president. What was the off-ball free given away that gave an anti-Bray shot in the pocket that he missed? Might have been holding. That was actually at my end. I remember it being given. Fuck, I forgot. I remember it being given, though. If Doggy comes back next week, does Narkle stay in the side? Yeah, Narkle stays in. It'll be McDonald that goes. Unless we find a way to play 4 tolls, but we won't. It's just not how we operate. Yeah, exactly. McDonald for Dogger. Tex wasn't bad. He just had no delivery. The Crows midfield was smashed. I'm not sure if I spoke about it on the preview, but I was speaking about it today to someone. How deep the Adelaide midfield mix goes. So basically, the guys that roll through there for us are Sarong, Brayshaw, Young, Johnson, Bolton. That's 5. Adelaide have these guys all roll through at one point or another. Dawson, Cumming, Keys, Peatling, Saligo, Rankin, Taylor, Crouch, Rochelle and Hinge sometimes. But that's at least 8, minimum 8. So Adelaide have a really deep midfield rotation. And they gives them so many different dynamics. And I thought our in-game adjustment to whoever went in there was really, really good. And as I said before, I thought we nullified, like Dawson's ball usage was terrible. We put him in positions where he couldn't use it very well. I thought Chapman did a great job on Rankin whenever he went forward. And I think it was Sarong on him in the midfield that did a good job. Like Sarong, I'm not sure how many touches Caleb had. He had 32. Yeah, like I was going to say he didn't rack up that much of the ball, but 32 touches, my goodness. 26 handballs. That's ridiculous. Most traumatic Freo loss for me got to be Essendon last year. And obviously any finals loss from 2013 and 15. That, in hindsight, 2015 prelim is fucking horrifying. That Fife broken leg. 2015 was horrifying because I've got full confidence that we would have beaten West Coast next week. Essendon last year, traumatic as. So what was the game? It was a late Jack Stephen goal against St Kilda. It was in the 2010s. I remember 2018 maybe. I remember that game so well. It was like both teams were in the 50s, but that hell traumatic. And then that Essendon game last year, not a lot tops it. All those games ending last year, the Geelong, the Giants, the Port, the Cats, the Bombers, all traumatic. Who cares? Let's give Melbourne a yacht for Cozzy for all I care. We've got all our picks this year. Okay. Was the punch? Okay, so what is there a match report out on this game yet in terms of MRO? I do just want to. Okay, there's nothing on the AFL match report, but I just want to search. Is there anything out yet? Adelaide MRO. No. Let's see if Twitter's got anything. So I'm quite interested to look at these incidents and chat about them. No, let's talk about the Adelaide Metro line. Okay, there's nothing. There is nothing. If Cozzy ends up coming, we'll sell the farm to get at least one. Yeah, we will. We'll give up so much for him. And I see why after last week. Does Jackson or Voss have a bigger impact in that same role? Jackson better spare ruck, but Voss brings incredible pressure and great potential to get to a Tracy level. Yes, true. I think Tracy's first few years at Freo are very similar to what Voss is going through right now, where he was very sporadically in and out of the team, and he'll learn his craft at the waffle level. He'll show promise at AFL level, but not quite get there. I think he'll go on that similar path as Tracy. I don't think we need to be playing Voss week in, week out. It's interesting. I think Jackson is. I think Jackson's lead of the ball is so strong still. He's got very sticky mitts, and he's a great kick of the footy. Really good set shot. So, and at ground level as well, I think he gives us so much. Versatile. So when he goes into the ruck, he can float behind the ball, great around the ground. So I do think it is Jackson, but I see where you're coming from. I love Voss. I think his inability to kick at the moment is a big one. In terms of him maybe not giving us what we want. But yeah, I see where you're coming from because I like Vossi as that third tall. Name a better small forward combo than a potential Cozzy Bolton. I can't, unfortunately. I just really can't. Matthew Johnson probably his best game of the year. Yeah, he was great. Carlton lost last year. Was gross. Oh, I forgot about that. That was horrible. I sort of forgot about it straight away because that was a gather round and there was another game straight after and I was there. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm not going to let my night be ruined over some bullshit. Carlton the gather round. I forgot about that. Gee, people are really getting on the Carlton the gather round game. Josh Bruce, that's who it was. It wasn't Jack Steven. Yeah, that game was horrific. All right, we got a few in the waiting room. Dan, are you ready? Give us a thumbs up. Yeah, he looks ready. Oh, cheers.
You there?
Dan.
What's up, man?
How are ya? Talk to me.
How good was that game?
Unreal.
My voice is broken from all the yelling, mate. I was there. It's unreal.
Yep. Yeah, so good.
That Bruce goal, the dribble kick.
Oh, brought the house down.
Gnarly. Nah, it's just elite.
Yeah,
so
unreal.
keen. I was just in the Uber with some bloke, and he was just yarning to me for that long about it. Just having the best time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's always a good night when we get the dub. Friday night.
Yeah.
Don't get much better than this. Who stood out for you today?
Oscar McDonald, actually. He's
Yeah.
pretty handy, but he's probably got to give way for Luke Jackson, let's be honest. But
Yeah.
Yeah. And Josh Tracy, the first goal kicker. How good was that?
Oh,
From
huge.
60
Was that on the multi?
What's that?
Was that on the multi?
Oh, nah. I've put him on every game. I actually had him on last week, but he didn't kick it that last week. But no good.
Damn, unfortunate. Keen for next week, Saints Friday night again.
I hope, yeah. Hope we get that win. You know, Ross is gonna cook up something against us, but I reckon we might get that. It's a tough run coming up, but we'll see.
Ross is a scary man. All right, have a good night, Dan. Cheers for
Yeah,
joining.
you too, mate. I'll go get my Maccas. Love
What'd you get?
I don't know. I actually don't remember. We'll see.
Oh, have fun, mate. Good luck.
Have a good one.
Oh, Dan's a good man. Does Banfield stay out next week, in your opinion? Yeah, absolutely. The only change that should be made is Jackson in for McDonald, really. Narkle might be our new utility, indeed. the 06 Saints game. Well, I wasn't even born. I was born 07. When Jackson and Voss are available, do they push out Amos? I've always thought about this. Voss is... Amos is one that might be vulnerable. I just don't think Jo would ever drop Amos. I think he could be vulnerable at some point, though, because I think Voss is good enough to take that spot. Never trust Midfield. You were 5. There you go. Was that Siren Gate? Or are you just talking about Siren Gate? Siren Gate sounded like an absolute piss take. Mac is secured. Daniel, have a good night, brother. Tell us what you got as well. All right, Jimbo. G'day.
Hello.
Happy with that?
I'm tickled pink with that. We really needed that performance, and it was one that I didn't know if we were going to get, and I'm really glad that we just... Well, look, okay, the last quarter was shambolic, but for 3 quarters, I'm really glad that we stood up to the occasion and we put the Crows into the ground.
Yeah, very, very good to see. I mean, again, it was just those 3 quarters. If we're going to talk about positives, it's all coming out of there, because to not kick a goal in the last was deplorable. We'll stick to the first 3 quarters. Who were your best?
My best, I mean, Brayshaw is just a gun. I can't believe that we had this guy till the end of his career. It's going to be good. It's going to be a good next 10 years. And not that he was great. He wasn't amazing, but I think Amos, he sort of got a bit more confidence back. And I think, okay, he got a goal from a free kick, but I feel like that was just one that he really needed to get his body pushed around a bit. And then to get that free kick and go in and pump it into the goals was really good for him. And I think, yeah, he's very tall, but he's just not got a big build. So, like, he gets thrown around in the contest a bit, and he just doesn't really get the ball on the chest, because the Freo midfielders just don't hit him up very well. So it takes a lot for him to get the ball, and when he does, it's really good to see him make the most of it.
Is this Amos?
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. I just think a few more years in the... I mean, I was hoping he'd put on... I mean, this in the preseason, he looks massive in terms of the pictures we got off the training ground. But yeah, I think he's still... It's a bit like Darcy, but in the opposite sense. Like, Darcy's learning to play with a bit of a slimmer build and learning to play with a new physique. And I think Amos is learning to play with a bigger body. And, you know, defenders, because he was sort of our anchor guy for so long. He was our main forward for a year or so, and defenders worked him out. So now he's just learning to get around, you know, the good defenders and learning to use this new body. So yeah, Amos will come good. And as you said, it's so good to see him make the most of it, because he went under a little bit of an inaccurate patch for a bit, and he's kicking well again. So it's good to see Nev out there, not missing. Our backs were super solid today. Talk to me about them.
I mean, Jordan Clark, he is just... The pressure he brings and the pace he brings is just something else. Like, there's a lot of players in the comp that you don't have these sorts of efforts, but I feel like he's always come at the most important times. When it's his turn to go, he stands up and he goes each week. And same as Luke Ryan, he's very courageous. Freo have a lot of those courageous defenders. And Alex Pearce, he plays like a small midfielder when he goes into that back line and goes and grabs the footy. Like, he just pushes through absolutely everyone. Nobody gets in his way and wins the footy. So it's really good to see that we've got a lot of contested bulls in our backline, sort of, that want to go in there and win the footy no matter the cost.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Alex Pearce's ball usage sort of goes under the radar, because he doesn't really kick it that much in a contested manner. But when he pushes into contests by hand, and just, as you said, breaks through packs, he's like a contested bull. Yeah, I love that aspect of Moose's game, definitely. Next week, the Saints. What are we thinking?
Oh, look, I think we have pretty good... Well, actually, we've copped a few batterings in the Bulldogs, but at Marvel, we always seem to do good against the Saints. I don't know what it is, but we just do seem to get the job done there. And I think
we lost last time against them.
Like you said earlier, that match against Melbourne, that was one of those losses that just really woke up the team. It wasn't one where you go, oh, it's okay, we expected that could have happened, so it's like you push it to the side. That was one where we really had to have that reality check on ourselves, and I think it showed tonight we really did respond in that opening quarter, and then hopefully we can carry it on throughout the week and get the win in Melbourne.
Absolutely. We just can't let our guard down, can't let the intensity down. We've just got to attack every week for the rest of the season like we attacked today. So, yeah, super happy. Thanks again for joining me, Jimbo. Have a good one.
Thank you.
We've got a few more waiting. We've still got 50 in. We've been on for an hour, and I can probably I won't go for another hour, but I probably could. So get in the fan cams if you haven't already and you want to come have a yarn. Had a real intense rivalry in the 2000s. Stephen Milne used to come over here and dominate. I've heard some incredible things about Stephen Milne. I only got to see the twilight of his career. Petition for all fan cams to start at 10:30. Dan gave us some good content. Brayshaw next captain. On lock, mate. Maybe Sarong. Who knows? One of the two. Both just guns. Give them co-captaincy. We have been spoiled, but also credit to our drafting team. Like, how have we drafted 3 guys of Brayshaw, Sarong, and Young's caliber? Like, we have developed all of these. We've developed so much of this team from the ground up and through drafting. Like, our back six is... Jordan Clark is the only one from today's back six that isn't from another club. I mean, Corey Wagner, if you want to say that. But so we've basically built everyone from the ground up. We've drafted. Like, incredible how we've built this list. And it's slowly coming together. I just hope we're not chucking it. We're saying all this shit now. And we'll really be, chucking the shits after a loss next week. But yeah, we just need to build consistency. Give Tracy whatever he wants, 2 mil player. He's just a jet, isn't he? 2 goals, 3, but I don't think that tells the story. He was just clunking so much around the ground, providing a contest. So good to see. All of us know Tracy still remains leading the Coleman. Oh, great. And Phil Thorpe getting injured is not great because I don't like seeing good footy players getting injured. So I hope he's okay. He came back on. But it does put Tracy in a good position for the Coleman, as does that Sam Darcy injury, which we've obviously gone into some good news on that Darcy thing. Don't see why Amos needs to bulk up, to be honest. Key forwards around the league are getting slimmer. Yeah, fair. I mean, you look at Sam Darcy, he's not necessarily the bulkiest. He's strong, but he's not bulky. I think there's a difference. Cox was great, mate. Coxie was great to see. He's been building into the season. Just as I said before, the guys like Warner and Johnson and Cox who get criticism for just these small things, from myself included, I think have built into this season so well. Cox was fantastic. I was a big sort of critiquer of him. And Carl Warner is just, he's almost penciling himself in to our 22 at the moment. He's playing that good footy. 55-72 last game at Marvel's Freo beaten. Really? When did we play the Saints at Marvel last? Oh no, it was the I was thinking round 1 2023. No, you're right. It was the Indigenous game last year where Freddie got knocked out. I was actually at that game. There was about 10,000 people there. It was so cold. Like, it was under the roof, but honestly, I feel like I was going to get frostbite. It was that cold. There's no Saints player that scares me, to be honest. It's not like Melbourne where we know they have star players. Yeah, true. There's no premiership players on that side. McRae. But you get what I mean. Murphy Reid, exactly. Another lifetime midfielder. Thoughts on Murphy Reid being at Freo and you think he'll stay? Oh, it's too early to tell. I hope he does. He looks so happy here. Looks like he's loving his footy. I think when he kicks those big goals in front of these big crowds and the crowd, and like our fan base loves him, and I reckon he feels that love. So I hope that's the sort of thing that like convinces him to stay. Remember when we used to be a destination club? I see a lot of promise in this list. JL just needs to be harder more often. We still are a destination club. That's the thing. Getting Shea Bolton is no easy feat. I get he wanted to come back to WA, but you've still got to have the pull to get a player of that ability. Yeah, I think we still are. And this could be a fantastic link-up player like a late Matthew Richardson who used to present all the way up to the wing. Amos doesn't really play that sort of way, though. It feels like Tracy's always the one pushing up, or when we play a third tall. Like McDonald wasn't doing it a lot today, but Jackson and Voss tend to. So, yeah, interesting that you think Amos could be that one, because he definitely does sometimes struggle a bit deeper. Today wasn't one of those days, but I get where you're coming from. Yeah, the Murphy Reid one's risky, but I also don't think we would have interviewed Murphy Reid before the draft. I don't think we would have drafted someone that was a risk of leaving. You've always been critical of JL due to how dull and boring he sounds in his press conferences. He doesn't sound like someone who's hard on the players. It's glad to hear about in the week. Yeah, and like a few years ago, there was a video that got released of him in the meeting room giving the players a real good hard pep talk, and so which has always sort of given me the faith that JL does have it in him. He maybe just doesn't bring it out as much as he, probably should in big moments. Reed's girlfriend and best mate have recently moved over. Really? Reed's best mate moved over? Why's that? I'm pretty keen about that. You brought the Bruce t-shirt for her, mate. I wore it tonight. 1-0 so far. Well, that mate, I wear it every week for the rest of the season. Huge credit on how Wolsey drafted these drafts. On how Wolsey draft these gun gems in the last few years, including drafting Murphy Reid last year's draft. Absolutely. David Walls has put on an absolute clinic since he's been at the club. And our drafting is among some of the best in the league, by the way. Like, it goes very under the radar. But Carl Warner, rookie drafted. Josh Tracy, rookie drafted. Luke Ryan was about a 4th round pick or something, or very, very late in the draft. Yeah, I think I dropped. I mean, obviously, you had that top 10 trifecta of Young, Sarong, and Henry. Henry didn't work out. That's whatever. He was an academy pick. And then you had that 1 year of Erasmus and Johnson and Amos. So Erasmus might not work out, but Johnson and Amos, I mean, come on. So our drafting's been unbelievable, which is something we always tend to get wrong. Heard rumors of Adam Simpson coming in for jail. That won't happen. I've heard that too. And I think Adam Simpson's a great guy. And I think he's really good value as a head coach still in the AFL. But we're not getting a West Coast Premiership coach. It's just not going to happen, realistically. Freddie pick 61. There you go. Really? There you go. Worst part about the Game of Thrones finale. I haven't seen Game of Thrones. I might need to get on top. I remember when the finale came out and it was going off in society. Freo and West Coast have the access to all the best waffle talent. Perth's usually too far for Vic Scouts to fly to regularly. Yeah, exactly. And there was a list that came out the other day on WA Footy Prospects. The great man Chris, who runs that page, go give it a follow. Where is it? It gave the NGA zones and different players we've got access to. I don't know where it is. I can't for the life of me find it. Maybe it's on Brian Ethan. I do want to quickly get this up. NGA zones. I can't find it. But the point is, Freo have some access to a few guns through our NGA. So Toby Wan's in there from South Freo, who's taking a piss at the moment. We've got Ryder Luke, who kicked 8 goals in the Colts the other day. So we've got a few really nice NGA guys coming through as well. It feels like they're all coming from South Freo as well. Murphy Reid's better than the hack Harley Reid. I would agree. That was a bad play on sarcasm. Eagles used to give a shit about being a destination club. Didn't make that clear. Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, my bad. I'm usually quite good at picking up sarcasm too. Where players go to fail. So okay. Apologies. My bad, not yours. Harley Reid. I'm here for the Harley Reid hate. Do you believe 5 fits our midfield and who would come out? You see him on a wing or half forward. As hard as it is for me to say, Nathan Fyfe is not in our best 22 anymore. He just isn't. Like, you look at our current injury list and you look at our 22 tonight. So on our injury list, I think, so you got Will Brodie, he's not best 22. Odin Jones isn't. Vossi isn't. And then you've got borderlines. So I think Walters is closer to it than Fife. I think Walker is in it. I think Sturt's closer to it than Fife. O'Meara is in it. O'Driscoll's in it. Jackson's in it. And Brody isn't. So there are so many guys above Fife in the pecking order. You've even got Erasmus. I think Cooper Simpson, maybe not above him, but he's knocking on the door. So, yeah, I don't know about Fifey. I hope we get to give him a farewell. But no, I don't think he fits in really. But he can do a job, I'm sure. Sturt, yeah. All right. Laboya, are you ready? Thumbs up. All right. We got a couple more in the waiting room.
What's good, bro?
How was that?
Great. I mean, the last quarter was a bit flat. Like, I really wanted to see our boys put on a high score for a change. But other than that, it's a good watch. There was a lot right that we did. Very complete team performance, in my opinion. Matt Johnson, big call, probably the best I've seen him play. Last quarter, he was marking pretty much everything. Like, I think he had like 3 intercepts in like the first 2 minutes or something. I might be wrong, but it was really good from Johnson, especially. Sure, what can I say? Mr. Consistent is what I call him over the years. But all around a good team performance. A very relieving game, in my opinion.
Absolutely, yeah. It was so good to bounce back from that D's game. Brayshaw, I mean, you say Mr. Consistent. I reckon he's been like consistently above average for a couple of years now.
Exactly.
And I reckon this year he's just like taking that jump up to just
definitely
like we saw him 3 years ago.
The best football, as you said, the best football he's played since 2022. He might be like getting to the point where he's like knocking on the door for our best player, because the past couple of seasons it's been so wrong, and the year before that it's Brayshaw. He might be slowly getting back to that level where he might be our number one again. But regardless, they're both stars pretty much. Like, we're lucky to have them both.
I feel like our best play changes every week at the moment. Like
Yeah,
Tracy
really.
will be in that conversation.
Tracy Brayshaw Young as well. Like, very good as well. I like what I saw from Amos and Frederick as well. I think Frederick last year, he had a bit of a down year. I definitely think we've seen Frederick's best football, as well as Amos. I think definitely seeing a bit of confidence back as well.
Absolutely. I think, Freddie before last week kicked 6 in 2 weeks, which was so good to see, because he's a very hot and cold player. Like, he's either on, like really on, or he's off. And he can kick a goal and sometimes go missing in games. But I think he's been like very, very noticeable and, providing pressure and, kicking big goals. So I think in the past 4 weeks, that's 8 goals now, which is really serviceable. Talking to Freddie, our forward line really, I don't think it clicked as well as it could have, but it gave us a good enough score to win the game. What do you think?
Definitely for sure.
Yeah. Shea Bolton, Murphy Reed.
All class. Murphy Reed, love watching that kid. Like, he produces, like, he has a moment every game of brilliance. Like, he can be quiet and spark up the crowd. Fan base loves him, as you already mentioned. Like, we love seeing Bruce kick a goal. It's great. And one thing I wanted to mention is that we have incredible depth. Like, we have a few outs like Jackson, O'Meara, O'Driscoll, and our depth players have really stepped up to the plate. Like it's very good seeing players like Dudley run around. We love Dudley, and he's played 5 odd games for our club. Like, our depth is incredible. Like, we have the players to back it up. Like, when we have a few outs and stuff. Like, seeing McDonald as well, he's stepped up as well. Like, without Jackson there, like, I think he's kicked goals in both games he's played, which is good. He's done well out, and it hurts that he might have to make way, because I think McDonald's has had a good run for the time that he's played as well. LJ for sure, Warner and Johnson were huge. Yeah, again, Warner gets a lot of shit from the fan base, and it was good to see him step up and play better. And one thing I want to mention, Alex Pearce, for a guy his size, that man can run. That man can run for a guy his size. He pushes the ball forward. He's very good at transitioning defense to attack.
Yeah, I want to see him take a bounce this year. Go for a run down the wing. Push forward a few weeks ago, kicked the goal. Yeah, I love what Moose is bringing. Next week against the Saints, you confident?
Honestly, yeah. I think it was said a while back, but we have a good track record against the Saints at Marvel. I think 2023 round 1 is the last loss we've had against St Kilda at Marvel for a while. I like our record against the Saints away. I think we play good against the Saints away. Yeah, I think I'm pretty confident. Like if we're any good the side, we'll put up a good fight, like regardless of the result. And I think St Kilda are also an emerging team. I actually thought that they would make the finals this year. So I think definitely it's a very 50-50 game in my opinion, especially at Marvel. I'd be more confident if it was at home, but I think we should get the result. But it'll be a bit more even because it's at Marvel.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you 100%. All right, thanks for joining me, mate. Have a good one.
Good, mate. You too.
Thoughts on who our sub is? I prefer players like Bamfield or Narkle, utility types, over Dudley being there. Yeah, I'd agree. I think Dudley next week will be sub. I think I've already mentioned it, but I'm okay with that because I think we gave him a game today, deservedly Dudley, but he just struggled to run it out. And he hasn't had a full preseason with us, and I just don't think his fitness is quite there yet. So I think he stays in the team because he's a great spark to have late in games. And I think Narkle might come in and give us a bit more. But I do like your thinking. I think having a utility to bring on and sort of just plug a hole anytime is really, really useful. Yeah, exactly. And he has to be playing at the moment because he's too good a footballer not to be. And obviously Walters being out. Like, Walters on the injury list is still TBC. I don't think he's far away from what I've heard, but yeah, it's annoying. Our forward line's pretty much, well, it's not going to be full strength, but with LJ next week, it's going to be pretty close to full strength. So yeah, it's going to be very, very fun to see. What's the deal with Sturt? He is listed as 5 weeks on the injury list. He's just had this knee niggle since preseason, which has just been keeping him on the sidelines, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, I think, gee, that's another one. I've loved Sam Sturt over the years. When Sturdy wasn't playing, I was the number one guy banging on the door about playing Sam Sturt. So yeah, I think he comes back in when he's fit. But yeah, it's interesting. You think JT is our best player? Yeah, it's him, Brayshaw, or Sarong. I think that's safe to say. And then Hayden Young. Like, we've got so many candidates. 5 down forward, I don't think will work. Only place you can see is over Sharp at the moment. Yeah, because we sort of rotate between wing and midfield, and you can chuck Johnson and O'Meara out there. So I think if Sharp does have a few down games, you could put Fife in. That's where I see him. Yeah, but you need to be a good field kick on the wing, and we've seen Fifey's field kicking in the past few years, and it's just off. I'm not sure why he's lost it. What else do we have? Will Brayshaw and Sarong finish 1 and 2 in the BNF every year? Just so consistent. Who was it last year? 2024 Doig medal. So Caleb won it. What was the top 10? So Andy was second, right? Young third, Tracy fourth, Swikowski fifth. There you go. Yeah, probably. I mean, Tracy will, I'm sure, cop a couple of Doigs throughout. But yeah, those 3 are sort of just going to dominate our top 3 for the time in the future. Young, Cox, I believe. All right. Get in, by the way, the fan cams. We're still on. If you haven't already had a yarn, we'll wrap it up soon. But we're gonna get Average in next. Who was on a few weeks ago. Get ready, chat. You're about to have a good yarn with old mate Average. Mate.
Yeah. Oh, hang on. There you go. Yeah.
G'day, mate. Happy with the win?
How's it going? I was a little happy, because Freo did pretty good in the first quarter. They did good in the second quarter. They did good in the third quarter. But then they just slept. They just sleeping. I don't know why. They need to put the metal to the pedal, because look at the ladder. They could have go above Hawthorn, but no. They're just sitting down at 8th place, waiting for Bulldogs or Port Adelaide or maybe Essendon just to get it up above Freo. What are you doing? We need the percentages. We need the good percentages, because the Geelong Cats game, they hurt us. that was hurtful. All right, but other than that, that was pretty good game as well. I love Sean Darcy. He is back to his
Yep.
form. He is back to his form. I thought Riley O'Brien is a good ruck, obviously, but Sean Darcy, lovely, lovely. Andrew Brayshaw as the first ever medalist. My God, I honestly thought it was going to be Caleb Sarong, but nah, Andrew Brayshaw, one of the goats that we have. What to say? Chapman, I thought he did okay, but needs a lot of work. Just like Jeremy Sharp as well. Quinton Narkle almost getting that goal. The
It's close, wasn't it?
inaccuracy, the inaccuracy.
It was a
it's
tough
cost-
shot, to be fair.
It's it's costing us. Okay, we could have had like Josh Tracy getting 5 goals, but no, we had 2 goals and 3. We need the accuracy. We need the accuracy, and then we get some goals. Yeah, thank you so much, James. Appreciate it. But other than that, Oscar McDonald, boy, like I remember him as a key defender in that Brisbane game last year, and then transition over to key forward. That's a good start right there. I'm gonna miss him once Luke Jackson's going to come in. Obviously, I don't know how we're gonna do like next year because not next year. St Kilda game because St Kilda, it's a hit or miss to be honest. Like we either gonna win against St Kilda or we're gonna lose against St Kilda. Okay?
Or draw,
'Cause-
mate. Never know.
Or draw. No,
Or draw.
no, don't give me that, mate. Don't give me that.
Okay.
Do you have any questions?
Nah, I'm all good, man. I think you've pretty much explained everything. Yeah, I'm excited for the Saints game next week. What do you reckon happens with the team? What changes do you reckon we make?
Okay, what changes? Obviously Luke Jackson needs to go in. Here's the thing, okay? I love the part where you say utility as a sub. That's a good idea. Okay, because like Banfield, literally, I have no hope for Banfield whatsoever. Yes, he did all right last year, but what about this? Like nothing. All we need is just pressure. Just keep tackling. If there's a bowl that's not Freo and they got it, just tackle. Just give some pressure. And yeah, it's Friday night game, and we could have a Saturday night or a Sunday morning, but no, Friday night. Great.
I'm not complaining.
Could be
Friday
fun.
night. Yeah, it'll be elite.
I mean, in Marvel Stadium, remember the last time?
Come on,
we
we've been
had
complaining about Sunday
When-
320s for ages.
No, remember Noah Cumberland plays on that game.
Oh, come on. I
Was
remember
it
that
Friday
game.
night?
Yeah.
It gave me so much nightmares. Okay, I'm glad that Banbu's gone. Hopefully he can prove in the waffle, but that's probably not going to happen. Okay. Oh my god.
All right. Thanks, mate. I'm keen for next
No
week. Great
worries.
win today. Cheers for jumping on.
Yeah. I will see you. Goodbye.
My God, he's a character. Noah, can you give us a cheeky fantasy team update? Haven't heard from you in a while. Ken, how are you going? I can. I can't share my screen. However, I've had a great day today. I've gone and VC'd Nick Dacos for a 120. I had Dawson for a 100. I had Andy Brayshaw for a 127. So they're my top 3 mids. I traded Luke Trainer to Nick Dacos this week, and that's obviously turned out beautifully. Jaden Short gave me a 90. I looped Zachary 74 on. Rankin 93. I'm having a good week. I'm on track for my best week of the year. I fielded Lindsay for a 98. I'm hoping Briggsy has a big game against English. I'm looking quite good this week. Zorko should bounce back against the Saints. We're looking good. We should have a Noah Cumberland statue outside Optus. Good call. Banfield's so useless most of the time. It makes me mad. There's still never been a Freo edition of Roaming Brian. He wasn't there tonight, apparently. What? That mate. Oh, that you know why? Because he would have done the Anzac Day game. Yeah, filthy. Still never been a Freo roaming Brian. I reckon we're the only club who's never had one. Roaming Brian's been going since the Subi Oval days. We've never had one. Next week is the week because BT will be on the game. Next week's the week. You captain Snee, you lucky man. Was a tough night to be a Murphy Reed fantasy owner. Oh no, he added like a 30 or something. Did he hit his break even? I'm not a Murphy Reed owner. Murphy Reed. He's been a good cash generator though, old Murph. He got his break even. Yeah, it's probably a trade next week, but he's been a nice little cash cow. I got pretty similar team, sounds like. Oh, Gordy. That's huge. He went absolutely off yesterday. It was Thursday. Yeah, yesterday. It was a hard watch. Watching Maxi dominate. Watch BT do Thursday next week. I know. I'll be watching on Fox, luckily. If we get roaming Brian, I'll definitely watch the replay on 7+. But who do we have next week for commentators? Friday night. So Thursday night is Matt Hill. So Friday night we've got Jerry Waitley and Anthony Hudson. How good? How good? 1 2 3/4 time should have got 150. Yeah, fucking hell. Imagine. You traded in Bruce this week. Traded in Bruce. What are we doing? All right. We've been on for an hour 40, basically. We've had about 15 chat the whole time. It is approaching midnight in WA. It is approaching 2 a.m. in Victoria. I appreciate all of you who have joined the fan cams, been in chat. It's been the most fun fan cams we've ever done, or this season. Yeah, been a heap of fun. We've got the dub. It's been good yarning about the game with you lot. We'll be back again for another late night fan cams next week, another Friday night one. I'll be running them again. Drews will join me for a bit on there. But yeah, it was heaps of fun this game. Heaps of fun this fan cams. And thank you all for joining me. The potty will be out maybe Sunday. Nah, the potty will be out Monday. Basically the same schedule as this week because we've got another Friday game. So Monday should be potty, Tuesday Oppo view, Wednesday preview, Thursday teams, then Friday we're back for the fan cams, and I'll be doing a watch along on my channel, so you can come watch the game with me live if you wanna. Thanks for watching. Keep up these late night ones. These are good, aren't they? This is our first late night fan cams because the game was so late. We've got heaps of night games coming up, so we'll be getting more of these. Yeah, I reckon they're better. Thanks for watching. Yeah, see you next week. Cheers. Up the Dockers.